All right, let's go. Nipsey Hussle and cryptocurrency. Maybe we should just go ahead and call him Cryptsey Hustle for this one. So I'm gonna go into this XXL interview that he did just under a year ago, a month shy of a year ago. But first, what I want to do is I want to play some audio of Nipsey Hussle.
We walking toward is becoming wealthy to the level that it's not gonna go away, and that we create a situation that it lasts longer than us. What is money in 2017 going into 18? Is it paper? Is it agreed value? What makes something currency? So that was what the debate was, and everybody was revolving around that as a question. But just cryptocurrency is, I think it's like a form of karma. I think that the banks had such a crooked model that the engineers and software designers and programmers was like, we're not gonna fix this with a protest. We're not gonna fix this with a march on Wall Street. We're gonna fix this with technology. And they created a equalizer that just checkmated the whole game. That's my view on it. It's just like the energy balancing out what went wrong over there, and just the disadvantage that the people were at. The cryptocurrency is balancing that out, or will in the long run. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna create an option, and you're not gonna have to go operate in that system that led to like 2008, all the banks collapsing and the real estate bubble and all the malpractice of power that was happening in the banking industry and the central banks and all that. So it's like, damn, that was slick. Whoever came up with that was slick. If you really peep it from a political point of view, you know what I mean? That was real effortless checkmate. You know what I mean? They exited before anybody knew what was up.
And they still got bailed out.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's interesting conversation. I've had it with some people, and some people are like stuck on money so much, and I'm like, man, money's not even backed by the gold system anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it really worth? It's whatever we want to put on it, but really it's just a piece of paper, just like a credit card, just a piece of plastic, and it's the inferred value that we put on it, and as long as everybody assumes that it's worth that, it is. But if somebody tomorrow's like, that's not worth shit, it's really not backed by anything. So it's like, why not try out a new currency?
It's a lot of reasons that, political reasons why it's a big thing, and it's financial reasons why it's a big thing, and even like on a simple level of like sending money overseas or something, to be able to do that peer-to-peer and not have no middleman with a fee, and with a policy, it's just a direct transaction that's, regulated by a public ledger. That's a big innovation if you understand like banking and PayPal and all that type of shit. Somebody told me that it's like what the internet was in like the early 90s. And think about what that turned into and all the billion-dollar businesses that was built off of that. That's like what the cryptocurrency, blockchain opportunity is similar to. So it'll take a while before we see it mature and really turn into what it can potentially be.
Currency, there's less than 1% penetration, and that's a fact because I can't spend Bitcoin here. I gotta still spend US dollars or MasterCard credit or, established credit. Any one of these stores, there's no penetration in the real world, but there's a $27 to $800,000 increase in investment in this space, but there's a 1% penetration in the real world. So what happens when it gets 5% real world? When more people can spend their cryptocurrency at the store, at the restaurant, on the airplane, which is why we came to Amsterdam, because there's a city out here where the whole city is cryptocurrency friendly. And this is an example of what's gonna happen to the rest of the world. And we think that if you get in now, when the value spreads, when the accessibility spreads, you'll be sitting on the right chair. And being out here further brought that to my attention, reinforced my belief in it, and we put our money where our mouth is.
So you gotta know that Nipsey was ahead of the game in all aspects. Anything he got into, he was next level. So, that's just a little bit of, he understood this whole crypto thing, man. He understood it to the fullest. So, I just wanted to kind of share that before I get into this interview that he did with double XL, just to kind of show people, man, that if you follow Crypt Talk podcast, especially the one I did on Anchor when I first started on Anchor and Spotify before I made this YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to, then what you'll notice is that there's a lot of different celebrities, whether they be athletes, musicians, actors and actresses, big time corporate moguls who understand this cryptocurrency space, who invest in it, if not utilize it for their businesses and whatnot. So this is just another reason why I say the mass adoption is coming, and a lot of people, the brightest minds, understand and they're getting into this. So if you're listening to this right now, then you're probably somebody who could think outside the box and has foresight, to kind of, make these moves and understand what's going on. But without further ado, let's get into this article. Double XL is called The Beginner's Guide to Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency according to Nipsey Hussle. So everyone wanted to cash in on the cryptocurrency craze. At the close of 2017, led by Bitcoin's steep rise in value, the digital currency space made both headlines and big bucks for those who invested early and shrewdly. But Nipsey Hussle was way ahead of the opportunists. Following the advice of Mark Echo. So yeah, I think you guys know who Mark Echo is. Like I said, man, these big wigs, these genius minds, they know what's up. Anyway, the Los Angeles rappers got on board with Bitcoin back in 2013. That's only a few years after it started. I think it started in 2009. So that's still pretty early. Studying up on the decentralized peer-to-peer currency that had launched 4 years prior. Today, he's a beneficiary and ambassador of the growing industry. In August, he bought ownership and stake in Amsterdam-based cryptocurrency company Followcoin, which seeks to inform potential investors on the moves of expert traders. I seen that video interview when he was in Amsterdam, actually making that video. That's where that first audio clip comes from, actually. The hip-hop culture shouldn't be left out like we always are, Nipsey Hussle tells Double XL. Our influence is leveraged, but we're always left out until it's too late. That's why I thought it was important to be involved as an entrepreneur and to be vocal and bring it to the hip-hop consciousness so that people who have resources and assets available can participate. So I'm just wondering what he would have done, what his next level move after Victory Lap would have been if he would have still been alive, if he was still alive. I'm wondering what kind of moves I know what kind of moves he would have made, because he invested in Followcoin, saying, which was pretty dope in concept. I don't know what has happened since his death. Pretty sure they're still moving on though. Anyway, so Double XL asks, how did you first get exposed to cryptocurrency? And Nipsey Hussle says, in 2013, the week before I dropped Crenshaw, the mixtape, which is dope, legendary. Complex wrote an article that said that Nipsey Hussle was one of the top 25 underperforming artists. I was so offended that I responded with my own opinion about these journalists. Their point of view is not validated in our culture. Mark Echo, owner of Complex at the time, caught wind of it and was like, come to the office, let's talk. We had a real convo of just the article. I was telling my visions for the Marathon store, creating a retail network across the country and a physical place where people could walk in and experience the aesthetic of the brand, kind of like Apple Store or Disney stores. He was like, that's dope, but think about e-commerce. I wanted you to research this thing called Bitcoin. That was 2013. I'm not going to read all of the whole answers, but I just want to get some of these. Having been a follower of you for years now, how did it feel to see the boom? What happened in crypto in 2017? Seeing what happened with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Oh, he's knowing. Litecoin in the whole category is confirmation for a lot of things that we were suspecting. I don't think Bitcoin was going to explode that fast. To see Bitcoin go to 17,000 last year, even me as somebody who was in it early, it caught me off guard. It made me zoom in a little more. As of now, Bitcoin is down. Last time that I checked, it was at about 6,600, which is down, but still up overall because it started at 33 cents. So, it is what it is. I do believe it'll go back up, but nevertheless, I remember seeing PayPal and Apple Pay get integrated, and it took a while. But imagine when you can pay for Starbucks with cryptocurrency. Very interesting point, because Starbucks will be accepting Bitcoin in 2020. Are we talking about a profit here? This dude was ahead of the game. When you could check out on Amazon with your cryptocurrency, Amazon uses blockchain technology. That's how they do the package tracking. That's why if you look at the what's called SPOO, the little ticket on some of your Amazon packages, it kind of looks like a Bitcoin address or a cryptocurrency wallet address. Anyway, what will that do to the value and the confidence of people investing? That's the opportunity. When retail accepts it as a form of payment, you're going to see a real boom for these coins. To be where they're at right now, it lets you know how high the ceiling is, and that is a fact. So, he knew what was up with this cryptocurrency, man. I want to get into another. But you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I first got into the crypto space just because I wanted to invest. That's really the main reason. But as I said before, once I started messing around with my Coinbase app, I started seeing these little tabs that said, earn crypto for free, learn about crypto and get paid type of thing. So I started going through those, and that's where I got the free EOS coins and the XLM coins, which the links to how you could do the same are in the description of this video. And then I navigated to some other coins that you could earn for free that didn't have referral links, but I'm talking about the DAI coin, which is a stable coin, the BAT token, eventually the Tezos, and a couple of the coins, the OX coin, and the Zcash. They were already all taken. No more free coins for those. But I still watched those videos to learn about them. And then as I did that, I started learning so much, I decided I have to get into coding and programming, which I'm doing now. And I just, started learning different ways to integrate things I'm already doing. So it's pretty dope. That's why I recommend that if you don't have a Coinbase, get a Coinbase account. And if you do, and if you haven't already took advantage of the free coins, you should do so. Links are in the description. So let's see here. What makes you so confident about the future of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? He says, I pay attention to politics and technology. Think about why Muammar Gaddafi got killed. That has a lot to do with why Bitcoin is working. Gaddafi was trying to get Africa to stop accepting fiat currencies from the United States and Europe. He was trying to get everybody on the gold dinar. That would trade resources with the rest of the world based on that. Bitcoin is a digital version of what Gaddafi was trying to do. That's a pretty good way of putting it. And as he said in the video that you heard, the audio that you heard, excuse me, he also said it's karma for the big banks. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly why it's not on the mainstream media. It's not on the mainstream media because it is a way to go around banks, to be able to handle your finances, and to benefit from your own transactions, and to have permissionless peer-to-peer transactions. So I want you all to consider this. If you have a Cash App, you know that you can buy and sell Bitcoin on the Cash App. Right? So this is where it's going. It's starting to be integrated on a massive level. Now, the reason why you still don't see this in the mainstream media, like I said before, is because the banks and corporations control the media. They have the most to lose, especially the banks and governments for that matter. And that's why these same banks and governments who've been telling you that cryptocurrency is a fraud, it's a scam, it will never work, it's only for criminals. Well, lo and behold, now they're all coming out with cryptocurrencies. JP Morgan Chase coming out with cryptocurrency. Facebook Libra, that's a cryptocurrency that's coming out in 2020. Federal Reserve, France, Canada, China. All these major governments, corporations, and banks are coming out with cryptocurrencies. And when they have completed developing their own cryptocurrencies, you will see it on the mainstream media. Unfortunately, for those who are not hip, they will be duped at first. Not duped as in they're going to lose all their money. What I mean is that these currencies that are going to come out, they're not going to be permissionless. They'll be able to stop the transaction, unlike Bitcoin. You can't do that. But they'll be able to do that. They'll also be able to track every single thing you do with them. So, just knowing how to use them, those particular currencies that are going to come out is going to be very important. But it's going to be a learning curve, as I said before, for a lot of people. Let me go ahead and go to the interview. Let me see. The interrupters disrupted the status quo. Now, there is one question I really want to get to. Did you make a bunch of money off of cryptocurrency blowing up the last few months? He goes, we ain't going to put that on the record, man. I don't want the IRS holler, but my brother and I were investing. I'm going to be honest. We didn't go crazy because we wanted to pay attention to the growth, but we did benefit from the upswing that happened in 2017. And that's another reason why, as I showed you, for the new, I think 1040s, the IRS is actually inquiring about cryptocurrency. See, they want to start being able to benefit from this in every way possible. That's why they were so against the Facebook Libra at first, because they wanted to figure out how they can get in. And it's going to come out, because I'm sure, well, for one, they can't stop it. If Facebook wants to come out with their own cryptocurrency, absolutely no one can stop them. They can't stop them. They can make it a little bit harder. They can make it illegal to transact in the United States. But the United States' whole population only represents 1/7, or about 15% or less, of the whole network that Facebook has, because they have over 2 billion people in the network. So there we go here. Speaking of West Coast hip hop, what do you expect from Victory Lab? Victory Lab is a classic. Anyway, let's just go ahead and go to this last question, which was, is there anything else you would like to tell your fans who might be curious about Bitcoin and other cryptos? He said, just educate yourself. Do your research, your due diligence. It'll take a week and you'll be able to absorb the majority of the important information. It's not a hard concept to understand. If you can understand supply and demand, if you can understand throwing out free music and monetizing via the tour, you can understand cryptocurrency. There it is, man. Like, this dude knew what was up. He was ahead of the time, man. He was ahead of his time. He's that dope. And and I say the same thing. Often do your own research. That way, when I do these videos, some people, I'm sure they don't understand it. They can't conceptualize it. It took me a minute to understand certain things, how to deal with wallets, how to understand why cryptocurrency is not just a currency, but a payment system in itself. So, in other words, cryptocurrency isn't just a way that you can pay for things or a way that you can invest in things. It in itself is a payment system. A payment system like PayPal is a payment system. Like Visa, MasterCard is a payment system. Well, Cash App, payment systems. Well, cryptocurrency in itself is a peer-to-peer, permissionless, secure payment system in itself. So that's what's so dope about it. You could take Bitcoin as a business without any government interference. So all these dispensaries that can't take credit card, can't take debit cards, they can actually take Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies if they choose, and they can store it that way so they don't have to hoard massive amounts of cash, because the banks won't deal with them because it's still federally illegal. So I'm just trying to make you understand just how significant this is. Anyway, it's Nipsey Hussle, aka Cryptsey. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Crypt Talk Podcast. Make sure you hit up the Twitter handle, Crypt Talk P, at Crypt Talk P. And also, you can join Blockchain Crypto Gang if you are a content creator and you want to post up in there, or if you just want to post ideas or get information. I would advise you check out Crypt Talk Podcast and Blockchain Crypto Gang.